What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to M.A.D Detailing. Today's video is on this very used and abused work truck. This truck is used as a paving truck, and as you guys can see, it is absolutely covered in tar. Just wait till we get farther into the video and you guys will see exactly how much tar is on this truck, because it is absolutely mind-blowing. The tar doesn't stop on the outside because the inside is absolutely covered in tar, grease, and dirt. So this entire truck is in need of an extreme makeover. But as you guys know, here at M.A.D Detailing, we're going to transform this work truck back to its factory condition. So if you guys are new to this channel, make sure you guys like and subscribe. I post brand new videos every Thursday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Starting off this detail with cleaning the engine bay first, I'm simply using our pressure washer to blow away all the loose dirt and grime. Then I will spray down the entire engine bay with our M.A.D Detailing Extreme APC. I'm gonna let that dwell for about 15 to 20 seconds, and then I'm gonna simply spray it off with the pressure washer. So this truck is a little different from any other vehicle you guys have seen. I'm first using our Extreme APC on the tires and fender wheels. And for the wheels, I'm using our M.A.D Acid. And that is the same as every single car. But whenever I get to the fender wheels trying to remove the tar, it gets a little different. So I'll talk more about that when I get there. Okay, so the problem with this truck is that normally when you're using a tar remover, you want to use it on a dry surface. You want to spray it on there, let it dwell, and then wipe it with the microfiber. Well, this truck has way too much tar and it's just clumped up. So I need to get majority of it up with a pressure washer. So what I'm using now is a tar remover. I'm gonna let that dwell for a while and then pressure wash it. I'm gonna repeat that same process. Honestly, I don't even know how many times, but it's a lot. And then once I get the majority up, then I could take a rag and the tar remover and get the rest. But yeah, that's pretty much the process for this. I will say with the carpet fender well, it came off a lot easier than whenever I get to the back, and you guys will see that later. All right, guys, I don't know if there's tar on my face, but I feel like there's tar on my face. I'm covered in tar, so words of advice: someone ever brings you a truck that has this much tar on it, you should probably decline. Like, look. That's insane. It's a little greasy. We're gonna get back to it now. So after getting the tar sprayed down, I'm now using a microfiber towel to try to remove it. And honestly, there was way too much. So I have to use the same process as I did on the front. And if you guys are wondering why you're not really supposed to spray a tar remover on and pressure wash it off, and that's because the tar remover is a solvent base. So a solvent and water does not mix very well, but I have to get as much as I possibly can removed with the pressure washer. And then I can use the rag, because if not, it's way too clunked up. It's hard to explain, but honestly, I don't know how long this fender well took me. Like, so the camera alone, the raw footage was an hour and a half. And I know that I did a lot more off camera. So honestly, I probably have 3 hours in just this rear fender well. So yeah, you take that as you want it. But like I said a little bit earlier, if you guys are just getting into detailing, or honestly, if you just own a detailing business in general, I would pass up on trucks like this. It's just, they're not profitable at all. The only reason it's profitable for me is because I'm making a video for you guys. Other than that, it's really not worth it. And moving on to cleaning the paint, I'm first using our Extreme APC diluted 4:1, and I'm gonna simply pressure wash that off. That's gonna be my pre-wash. I know some people use a snow foam, and I just prefer an APC. It's a way thorough method than just a snow foam. And then after that, I can foam the entire vehicle down with our foam cannon and our M.A.D detailing super blue soap. And then I can go ahead and give this truck a nice hand wash. I know you guys are probably wondering, well, the tar is still there. And yeah, that's because you want to get the surface as clean as possible before moving the tar, because if not, you'll just be rubbing tar in the dirt and you're essentially just going to scratch the living crap out of the panel. So yeah, anytime you're removing tar from paint, you want to get the paint as clean as possible, and then you can move on to your tar removal. So now that the truck is thoroughly washed, I can now move on to removing the tar. So for this, I'm using a tar remover. The tar remover that I'm using is actually from Geon. It's their G7 Q. Honestly, I don't even know. It's just their tar removal. And honestly, looking back at this, it is so satisfying watching the tar come off, but I can promise you it was not satisfying at the time. But this is an extreme case, so I'm actually spraying the tar remover directly onto the paint. I'm letting that dwell for a few minutes, and then I'm wiping it off with the microfiber. And as you guys can see, anywhere that you wipe, tar is just pretty much grease. So anywhere you wipe, it just spreads out and it's a super pain and it's super time consuming. And what I'm doing now is you have to neutralize the surface after you use a tar remover. So I'm just using our soft microfiber wash mitt and a, pretty much just a bucket with our sewer blue soap. The paint's already clean, so I'm not worried about doing a 2-bucket method. So yeah, after you use a tar remover on each panel, you want to neutralize it, and then pretty much you're good to go and tar free. And if you guys thought this wash process was done, well, you would be wrong, because now I'm using our M.A.D detailing iron eraser. And what that's going to do is remove all the deeply embedded contamination, such as rail dust, brake dust, and any type of contaminants that are in this clear coat. And as you guys will see, this truck has an insane amount of rail dust and brake dust built into it. It's pretty crazy, but yeah. And after this, we can spray the vehicle off, and then we can finally work on the interior. So now that my shop floors are destroyed and covered in grease and tar, I can now move on to cleaning the interior. And so for this, I'm simply using our vacuum, and I'm gonna go ahead and pre-vacuum the entire truck out, and then I can move on to the seats, and then we'll get back onto the interior later on in the video. So moving on to cleaning these leather seats, this is going to be a different process than any time you guys have seen me clean leather before, since there is tar completely covering the seats. I'm first using our Extreme APC in a stiff like bristle brush. Then I'm gonna wipe it all off, and as you guys can see, the tar is still there, and that's because degreaser does not remove tar. So I'm simply using our degreaser in a steamer, and that's gonna do a very good job. And as we'll see, I switch up the process. I end up using WD-40. Yes, that's right. WD-40 actually is a safe tar remover on leather. But honestly, these seats are not leather. They're like a marine grade vinyl, so they take a lot of abuse. But sadly, like the tar sat on the leather for too long, and actually kind of like, I don't know, dyed itself into it. So like the tar is gone, but like there's a little bit left behind. And honestly, I didn't want to bore you guys with cleaning the same seat 1,000 times. So pretty much what we did is off camera, we cleaned every single inch, and we ended up getting like the staining off like 99.99% off. But yeah, it was a real pain. All right, guys, so over the weekend, I've received a lot of comments and a lot of DMs on Instagram and people asking if I've seen Detail Geek's recent video, and that he was pretty much just addressing something that I do in every single one of my videos. And they also said that he was throwing a bunch of shade at the same time. I went and listened to it, and honestly, it is far from the truth what he said. And honestly, his reasoning behind it was almost just pretty much him trying to manipulate you guys to believe that, you know, what he does is the right way and the only way to do it. And if you don't follow him and do things as he does, then you need to brush up on your skills, which honestly is far from the truth. Everything he said honestly wasn't true at all. So the comment that he addressed said, would it be easier to remove the carpets and pressure wash them rather than to extract them? But if you dig deeper into this situation, that is not exactly what people are asking. People are really asking about what about underneath the carpet and why you don't clean that as well. And his first reasoning on why he doesn't remove the carpet is that you have to dismantle most of the interior. It is a very time-consuming process. And yes, he is right there, but in numerous videos, he has removed the seats and the center console, which is 99% of what you need to do to remove the carpet. That is exactly what's holding it on. After you remove that, the carpet will come out in about 35 seconds. And then he goes into saying that you greatly risk damaging things, which is far from the truth. And honestly, there is a way higher risk removing seats and a center console than there will ever be removing the carpet, considering that the seats and the center console and the plastic side kick plates are the only thing holding the carpet in. And like I've said in many of my videos, you don't have to pull the carpet. The reason why I pull the carpet is because these vehicles are so nasty that there is roaches, mold, you know, just nastiness underneath the carpet that you simply cannot just extract. So that's why I pull it out. But he did mention that, oh, unless you have, you know, a limited time, you're doing repo cars and breaking stuff is not an issue. And let me just address that as well. Just because a car is a repo car doesn't make it any less of a car. Someone still owns that vehicle. And if I break anything in that car, I have to replace it. I treat repo vehicles just like I would a customer vehicle. But at the end of the day, me and Detail Geek are two different detailers living two different lives. And there's not a wrong way or right way to do things. Detailers have different techniques and different ways they do things. So if he doesn't feel comfortable pulling out the carpets, that is totally fine. I'm no way bashing him for doing that. But bro, please don't just come onto your platform trying to speak on something that you know nothing about, and at the same time throwing shade at other detailers. So moving on to cleaning the interior panels, I'm using my Extreme APC and a soft detail brush, and I'm also using the steamer to make sure I loosen up all this nastiness. And wait till you guys see me cleaning the steering wheel. This is by far the nastiest steering wheel I've ever done. Like, wait till you guys see, it's really disgusting. So moving on to cleaning the floor of this truck, I'm using my Extreme APC and a stiff brush. Then I'm gonna use the steamer to make sure I loosen up all this nasty tar and filth. Then I'm gonna use the vacuum to vacuum up the majority of it. And then I'm gonna use the microfiber towel to make sure I get up all the residue. And after I get the floor clean and all the side kick plates, I'm gonna go ahead and dress the entire floor. And for that, I'm gonna be using our M.A.D detailing ceramic interior detailer. And that's gonna restore these factory plastics to its original finish. It's not gonna be, super greasy. It's gonna dry to a very matte touch and it's gonna feel like brand new. Before I can move on to any type of polishing, I need to clay bar the entire truck. And for this, I'm using our M.A.D detailing clay lube and a synthetic clay bar. So after getting the entire truck clayed, I am now polishing with a Rupes 21 polisher, a red polishing pad, and HD speed. No, that's not going to be a full correction, but that is going to remove a majority of the swirls and scratches, leave behind a high gloss shine and a good protection.